Breaking the Silence is a podcast that dives into the intricate and often challenging topics of grief and loss within relationships. Through insightful discussions, the podcast aims to explore how pain can be transformed into purpose, leading to healing and growth. By addressing themes such as inner child work and the journey towards feeling alive once more, this podcast offers a beacon of hope for those navigating difficult emotions. Ultimately, Breaking the Silence aims to guide listeners towards moving forward and embracing all the blessings that life has in store as they embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual fulfillment. I'm your guide through this journey, Renee Wallace, and I invite you to join me as we break the silence surrounding grief and loss, transforming pain into purpose and finding hope in the healing power of storytelling. Good morning, my beautiful friends. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I am actually here doing a podcast with you. But let me tell you, I am so excited. So first of all, welcome to Breaking the Silence. I am Renee Wallace, and I just wanted this to be a time of us connecting, friends, sitting together, talking and connecting. So grab a warm drink, whatever it is for you, cozy up, and let's just connect. So first, let me share a little bit about myself and what you can sort of expect here. I guess I should start with saying that today is actually the anniversary, and we're going to get into this more, but the anniversary of my son that went to heaven 5 years ago today. And I chose this day. Well, I should say God chose it because I had, like I said, I've been playing with this idea for months and knew I was supposed to. I actually even had recordings done, but had never went any further with it. And I finally just decided, you know what, it is time to do it. And, excuse me, and decided to launch it. And then it just clicked that oh my goodness, it's the 5-year anniversary of Bryant going to heaven. That is the perfect day for the pre-launch. And so that is how today came to be. And just seeing all the pieces, I knew God was orchestrating all of it. And I'm sure I'll talk about that more over time. But anyways, so a little bit about me. I have traveled a profound path marked by childhood trauma, heartbreak, the devastating loss of a child, as well as then about 2.5 years later, the father of my children, the man that I had spent almost 30 years of my life with, the love of my life, passed away. And so that in itself was quite a bit, dealing with those two losses. And then a little over a year ago, a very dear friend passed away very quickly. And so there has been a lot of loss in my journey. And so from that, those difficult experiences really have taught me to be a compassionate and resilient woman. And they've definitely made a huge impact in my life, obviously. And so from that, a lot of those experiences that I have experienced over life left me feeling like I didn't have a voice, left me feeling honestly afraid to even speak my truth and to speak out. So that is actually where this podcast was born from. It was from me deciding that I wanted to use my voice to help other women to be able to find their own voice, to speak their own truth, to know that they are not alone, and to walk the journey with them. We'll discuss a lot of things in this podcast. We'll talk about grief and loss. We'll talk about inner child work and learning that we actually have to feel the emotions to truly heal. That it doesn't work to just keep coping with things or dealing with things, shoving them down. Like, none of that brings true healing. And so I hope that as we embark on this journey, that you join me, that you take the walk with me, and that there will be healing, that you will find your voice, and that there will be beauty from this. So I look forward to sharing more with you, and I'm so glad that you even joined me today on the anniversary of Bryant. It just makes it such a beautiful thing, to be quite honest, of reframing the story, right? So we can stay stuck in the idea of the loss and what we have, what we've had to let go of, the death of the dream. And that's something else I want to share real quick. This podcast is for anybody that has experienced loss, and not just in the loss of a child or the loss of a loved one. It can be the loss of the death of your dream, what you thought life was supposed to look like, how it was supposed to go. If you've had to let go of relationships that didn't serve you well, if you've had somebody walk out of your life, you still have to grieve that loss. And so it can be lost in so many different ways. And what I encourage you, or what I want from this time, and even what I see in this, when, like I said, I feel like God chose February 21st for our pre-launch. And God chose for me to record this today, which is actually the anniversary. It would be mine and Dave's 31st anniversary. To reframe it, that it's not a story of ashes and loss. Yes, those things absolutely did happen, but there can be beauty from the ashes. There can be redemption and restoration, and you can reframe your story. So now I've reframed, and yes, there's joy in the fact that Bryant is in heaven and healed and all that. But I'm reframing today, and that this is where we launch the podcast. And this is where a new story starts, a story of healing and hope. So again, I hope you join me on this journey. And I'm so glad that you were even here with me today.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking the Silence. As we conclude our time together, let us carry forward the stories we've heard, the emotions we've shared, and the connections we've forged. Remember, the journey through grief and loss is not one we walk alone. In the silence, we find solidarity. In our shared experiences, we find strength, and in our vulnerability, we find resilience. If you or someone you know is navigating the complexities of grief, know that there is support available. Reach out, lean on your community, and remember that healing is not linear. It is a journey, and you are not alone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a part of this transformative conversation. Until next time, may you find peace in the spaces between the silence. Please be sure to subscribe below and leave us a review. If you'd like to connect further, you can find me on Instagram at Coaching with Renee.